spend a few time talking to voters energetic approximately Donald Trump. That they're unashamed in their bolster of the hypothetical Republican chosen one is no shock. What's striking is how sincere numerous are in their confidence that the previous president may be an honest-to-goodness good guy, compared to so numerous GOP authorities who have advertised lukewarm 2024 supports through gritted teeth. What is there not to like around him? Retiree Paula Johnson told The Dispatch in January, withdrawing a Trump campaign occasion in Manchester, Modern Hampshire, facilitated by Modern York Rep. Elise Stefanik. He adores us, he cherishes our nation. So that's why we're supporting him. He does everything that he says he's aiming to do, just like the border and all of that, included Richard Hinson, 58, exterior of a Nikki Haley campaign rally in Moncks Corner, South Carolina, where he lives and works for a control company. He's not a lawmaker, you know, and I can relate more to that indeed, in spite of the fact that he's an extremely rich person or anything. And it fair appears like he's more for the little fellow than one of these politicians. Their clarifications for backing Trump over Haley and others within the GOP primary, and over President Joe Biden in November, present a stark differentiate to the rationalizations advertised by the slew of unmistakable chosen Republicans who hurried to underwrite the 45th president once it got to be clear he was headed for his third continuous designation. I am a deep-rooted Republican, and I will back Donald Trump as our party's candidate for president, Rep. Ware Bacon of Nebraska said in a post on X, once in the past Twitter. Bacon, running for re-election in an Omaha area locale that backed Biden over Trump in 2020, included, Republican voters over our nation have talked, and it is evident we need to return to the secure borders, solid economy, energy independence, and SCOTUS nominations that President Trump conveyed. It is time to overcome Joe Biden. To beat Biden, Republicans have to be joined together around a single candidate, and it's clear that President Trump is Republican voters' choice, included Senator John Cornyn of Texas, also on X Cornyn, running to supplant active minority pioneer Mitch McConnell as the Senate's beat Republican, included 4 more a long time of fizzled household approaches, just like the Biden border emergency and record-high expansion, and fizzled outside approaches that have encouraged our foes and made the world a more unsafe put, must be stopped. It makes zero political and proficient sense for congressional Republicans to turn their backs on their party's presidential candidate, and it's improbable to anticipate them to back a Democratic incumbent. Stipulated, but the through line in both the Bacon and Cornyn explanations and others is, Republican voters made us do it. That clarification, moreover, is justifiable. Trump over the past 8 a long time has racked up his share of dark marks, giving chosen Republicans bunch pardons for keeping their remove. Where to begin? Trump did not capitulate over come to Biden, claiming erroneously that the 2020 race was stolen. At that point, on January 6, 2021, Trump instigated a riot in the U.S. Capitol, with his grassroots supporters raging the building in a bid to upset the decision by ending certification of Biden's discretionary college triumph. More than a long time after taking off office, Trump was indicted by the Equity Division for supposedly misusing classified archives and hindering the government examination into his refusal to exchange government fabric to the national files. While that may be the foremost clear-cut criminal case against him, Trump is additionally beneath prosecution in 3 additional criminal cases, and was found liable for sexual manhandle and maligning in 2 respectful cases recorded by E. Jean Carroll. He has at times said the structure ought to be suspended, proposed he needs to rule like a dictator, at slightest for day, called political opponents vermin, coopted racist tropes to pronounce unlawful foreigners are poisoning the blood of our country, and cozied up to dictators, counting Friday when he hosted Hungarian Prime Sir Viktor Orban at Mar-a-Lago, his winter home, and private social club in Palm Shoreline, Florida. Politically, Trump's authority of the Republican Party has been terrible. On his observe, the GOP misplaced control of the House, 2018, the White House, 2020, and the Senate, losing Georgia seats in a pair of January 5, 2021, uncommon race runoffs. Democrats held their Senate larger part in the 2022 midterms, even picking up a situate in Pennsylvania, despite Biden's moo endorsement appraisals, tall swelling, and concerns almost wrongdoing, as one imperfect Trump-endorsed candidate after another endured vanquish in the midst of autonomous voters' depletion with the previous president. Same the House, where Republicans scarcely overseen to win a 4-seat lion's share. Meanwhile, on key issues many elected Republicans claim to care approximately, counting fiscal responsibility, lessening the measure and scope of government and American worldwide authority, Trump fell brief. The obligation and shortfall skyrocketed amid his presidency, growing from generally $20 trillion to roughly $28 trillion. He opposes entitlement change, and he routinely debilitates American withdrawal from political and military unions in Asia and Europe. Trump still does, saying as of late he would encourage Russia to attack other North Atlantic Settlement Organization nations in the event that they don't increment defense investing. As Trump said during a meet with CNBC Monday, "I'm not preservationist. You know what I am? I'm a man of common sense." Grassroots Trump loyalists regularly are defamed with allegations that they back the previous president in spite of these flaws, or even because of these flaws. To be sure, those voters are out there, no question. But amid the few months of the GOP essential, especially this winter within the key early essential states, the Dispatch talked with voters who basically have a diverse sea of the previous president than the one that prevails in a few Republican and media circles in Washington. He's a good guy, great man, and he's got an extraordinary family, Steven Steiner, a 63-year-old genuine domain agent in unused Hampshire, said on January 23 at Trump's race night celebration within the Stone State. For a long time prior nowadays, I had a chance to meet Ivanka Trump, and I told her my story. My story was straightforward. I misplaced my 19-year-old child to OxyContin, and I needed the White House to utilize the bully platform to go after this issue. That's what Trump did, went out and used the bully pulpit. He tuned in. He did a great job, Steiner added. Steiner may be a long-lasting Republican, not a previous Democrat attracted to the party by Trump and his heterodoxies. We inquired Steiner to address concerns many voters, right and the left, have almost Trump. For occasion, the former president's flirtation with governing like a dictator. He said he's intending to be a despot for one day. He's intending to sign an official arrange for the pipeline going once more, and he's planning to near the border and begin managing with immigration. And the stress that he will disregard sacred term limits and endeavor to stay in office after his moment for a long time is up. That's bulls. Is Trump at slightest somewhat mindful for a national obligation after working hand in glove with a Democratic-run House and a Republican-led Senate to spend billions of dollars in additional government cash to relieve the aftermath from the due date coronavirus widespread? I do not think so, said Douglas Benton, 70, retired from the data innovation industry, and who we met in late February, whereas he was waving a mammoth Trump 2024 hail outside of a Haley campaign rally in Myrtle Shoreline, South Carolina. He couldn't get anything through the Congress because they had the House and the Senate when he was president, and they hold the handbag strings. It's vague in the event that Benton was faulting Democrats, Republicans, or both, in spite of the fact that Trump's Republican partners controlled the House and Senate during Trump's first two a long time in office. To Benton's point, Trump is the Republican nominee, however, again, because many supporters see him as a victim of circumstance, of the media, of the Democratic machine, and of a so-called GOP foundation capable sufficient to obstruct his administration, indeed, in spite of the fact that it was as well powerless to remove him as main pioneer of the party since then, never mind square him from the 2024 assignment, which he clinched this week. This sensitivity for Trump is fueled by two basic components. They believe he did an exceedingly great work as president and don't think he did anything off base at that point or since. Trump's loyal grassroots following may well be off base almost him, but they're not being deceitful or politically convenient. They accept the former president's questionable claims. They're not holding their nose like Steve Deese, a well-known Iowa conservative, and Blaise Ete have, who already embraced Florida Gov. Ron DeSantis, of his choice to back Trump, whom he contends is expended by delusional narcissism and is nearly incomprehensible to like or admire. Deese composes, his self-destructive decisions during the COVID delirium make supporting the previous president nearly impossible. But the stakes are too tall to let the other party win. Differentiate Deese's comments with what a middle-aged married couple in Mock's Corner told the Dispatch during an amplified discourse around why they would or maybe deliver Trump another for a long time.